This is a public service announcement.
I can't do this anymore. Please, guys, I refuse to do this again. Joao Felix has just signed for Al Nassr for 50 million euros. That is 43.7 million pounds. And that has physically offended me, and I'm not even remotely involved in the deal. This is a man who's done absolutely nothing for 4 years and is still getting bought for a value higher than what we bought Alexis McAllister for. And it got me thinking. I know, and that should be, everyone should be concerned, because that could be like a nuclear. He might actually be a money laundering scheme. So this type of player isn't just a footballer that's moved to lots of different clubs, like a journeyman. This is a player who's moved a lot, or a decent amount. He doesn't even have to have gone to that many clubs, but every single time he moves, you don't quite understand how he ended up where he's going, or how so much money was spent on him. And it's all relative. It doesn't have to be someone that's being bought for 100 million every time, and then providing 7 goals a season. There can be mid-table money launderers, guys that you're not even sure how they still play in the Prem, but they always manage to find a move for like 7 mil to Fulham, and then 10 mil to Wolves, and then 12 mil to Crystal Palace. These are the guys we've got to be concerned about. These are the scammers. I asked you guys who you thought should be involved in this discussion over on Twitter, so if you do want to be involved in a video like this in the future, then make sure to go and follow me over there, and you guys delivered. Let's try and aim for 7,000 likes on this video. I'd massively appreciate it. It really does help making sure the channel is still seen by you guys. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscription button. At 800k, I'm doing whatever the top comment was on the most recent video on this channel, which, by the way, you should check out after this one. Unless you're a Newcastle fan, then you probably won't. So as I mentioned, Joao Felix really started this conversation going. This is a man who was unbelievably highly rated at Benfica, playing in Portugal. He played well for Benfica, had a breakout 18-19 season, and then Atletico Madrid bought him for like 127 million euros. Yeah, this was like the pre-COVID era where like everyone was getting sold for like 360 million, and also your nan. You had Coutinho going for crazy money in this era, like Antoine Griezmann. It was all going mad. Like there was too much money being spent on bad players, and we'll speak about some of the others going around this time later on. And to be fair, things started well for Joao at Atletico. He helped them to a La Liga crown, beating out the original top 2 in Barcelona and Real, and earning their Player of the Year award in the 21-22 campaign. So when he then made a loan move to Chelsea midway through the 22-23 season, there was quite a lot expected of him. And to be honest, he wasn't that bad, apart from getting himself sent off for an absolute clamp against Fulham. But since then, this guy's career, as I said, has quite literally offended me. For all the promise that he had, a former Golden Boy of 2019 winner, there are cheese and ham sandwiches that have shown more desire to become professional footballers than him since this time. Once again frozen out at Atletico Madrid, he'd be loaned to Barcelona to become a bit part player there. Not really loved at all by Barca players, though wasn't horrific as a squad option. Then, for some unknown reason, Chelsea would be impressed enough to actually buy him permanently this time, as Todd Bowley's dementia swept its way through their transfer activity. But after that, did absolutely nothing, and he showed even more promise than his first stint at Stamford Bridge. He'd get loaned out to AC Milan, do not that much there, before now being offloaded to Saudi Arabia at the age of 25 for a combined transfer fee during his entire career so far of over 200 million pounds. For what? For what, guys? This is a pyramid scheme if ever I've seen one. He's only 25 and his career is doing up Dora the Explorer. How has he still not managed to settle somewhere yet? $284 million at 25, and you could honestly argue that none of those moves were worth the money. The Atletico Madrid move, they won La Liga. Maybe Atletico fans will say, yeah, but they got what? 2 good seasons out of him? For all of that money, they won the league, and they'll never replace those memories if maybe they hadn't signed him, if they just allowed Griezmann to leave and they'd gone with someone else. But Jesus Christ, like, it didn't work out after that. It didn't get much money for him. A massive loss. Like Chelsea, it didn't work. Milan, it didn't work. Barcelona, it definitely didn't work. And now he's going to Saudi Arabia at such a young age. So onto my right, yeah, you guys, certified pyramid schemes, okay? I don't know what you guys are doing, but you're certified enemies of the FNG channel. To my left, however, you lot are lesser scams of a different kind, okay? So like kind of like like email chains or something. And that brings us on to the next man, Lukaku. This is a guy who's never really been able to find his home. You know, he's bounced between lots of different football clubs. And honestly, it's kind of tragic. And the fact that he's obviously a left back is even worse. Yeah, Jordan Lukaku, you fucking stink, mate. Abhorrently, you are going into the pyramid scheme section. Because this is even worse because he has not only bounced around for money for no good reason, but the actual reason is because of his brother also bouncing around all the time. That's like a double pyramid scheme. I've given you the pump fake though. We will talk about Romelu Lukaku because his name came up. It was controversial. People disagreed with me. Now, Romelu, of course, broke out really at Anderlecht before moving to Chelsea as a youngster, had a loan at West Brom, then went to Everton, absolutely thrived. His big money move for about 90 mil came when he went to Manchester United, and honestly, it was a complete disaster, okay? Bro had got the Timberlands out. He looked like he was running around a football pitch in Crocs. It was absolutely crazy. But then he left Manchester United and went to Inter Milan and suddenly thrived, which spelt another big move. He clearly got himself back. You know, his mojo had returned. It was clearly only Manchester United. That was the only reason he'd failed. He went to Chelsea for big money, and then he made every Chelsea fan hate him, and then that was a disaster as well. He went back to Inter. That even then was a disaster. Then spells at Roma and Napoli have been very mixed. He's just helped Napoli win the Scudetto, and nobody really truly knows what Lukaku you're gonna get when the day comes. For that reason, I don't see him as a fully fledged pyramid scheme. I think he does fall into kind of the category where he's only a marginal one, okay? He's only slightly there. The only reason I wanted to put him there was because every time he's made a big move, he's flopped. There's a reason why you would want to buy Romelu Lukaku, especially if you're an Italian team, apparently. But Inter had Chelsea for lunch, like genuinely. Getting 90 mil for him and then just getting to loan him back for free is crazy. And another man who was loaned around quite a lot, we've got Gonzalo Higuain. This one I was actually quite surprised when I saw people mention this one quite a lot, because I've always felt that Higuain was kind of underrated, and I'm not talking about early days Higuain. Real Madrid Higuain was pretty decent. Napoli Higuain was absolutely sensational, but I think really Juventus Napoli is where we start to see this money laundering come into effect. He went there for 90 million euros, guys. Okay, this was a lot of money to go over to Juve. In his first season at Juve, he scored 24 goals. This after scoring 36 in 35 for Napoli, by the way. Like an absolute killer. So his first season at Juve was good. Then he grabbed, what, 16 in 35? Not amazing, but it's still decent records. And that's why he then went over to AC Milan, where he grabbed just 6 goals for them. Not a great time at Chelsea, just 5 goals for the Blues. He bounced back to Juve and then into Miami. I think kind of, he's another one where it's like just the end of the career. When Milan happened, Chelsea shouldn't have signed him. Like that's where I think the money laundering comes into effect. It's recency bias. Because Gonzalo Higuain, good enough footballer, he just aged and then people were just stupid enough to keep loaning him. So for Higuain, good guy, not a pyramid scheme. The next striker, however, definitely is, and that's Alvaro Morata. This guy is the blueprint, fam. This guy is the original scam. Like in the olden days, when you had to send like a carrier pigeon to get like a letter across, he was doing that. He was getting people to send him shillings and then he wasn't delivering the product. He was the original scammer. I actually borderline despise him, and it's very irrational because again, he's had nothing to do with me apart from the one time he did decide to turn up, which was knocking Liverpool out of the Champions League. You can count on this man for absolutely nothing. Any big moment that's gonna happen, he's gonna fluff his lines, fam. That Chelsea run, some of the misses at the Blues were crazy. Big moments for Spain, flops here. He is the #1 fraud man. The amount of money this man has gone for, 40 mil, 50 mil, then 60 mil, then 35 mil, is absolutely crazy. Ask yourselves, what team was Alvaro Morata playing for on the 21st of August, 2020? You can't tell me because there's like 4 different teams it could have been. He could have been at Juve, Real, Atletico, or Chelsea, and it's just a free-for-all as to which one. This guy just bounced between teams. I think he went Milan at one point. Now he's at Galatasaray. If he was in problems, I would help problems. I can't stand it. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'm not talking about his actual integrity as a human being, but as a footballer, man, it's just frustration at all times. Categorical pyramid scheme. We've got a few others now, like Yannick Carrasco. This one I feel like is a little bit harsh. I think he just kind of went to China and then he came back to Atletico like nothing happened. This isn't money laundering. This is like money laundry, I would say. I think with him, I just never know where he's gone or how much he's earned. So yeah, Carrasco, not a money launderer, I don't think, though he does play for Belgium. And as far as scammers are concerned, Belgium are top of the list. Then we've got Hulk. Now, I think Hulk is just followed the money. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's actually received the money from the laundering. So I can't get at him really for that. It's almost like he's been allowed to perform money laundering on other people. For me, the reason why I think he's a bit of a scammer is you can't be called Hulk and the maddest team you've ever played for is Zenit St. Petersburg. Like, at that point, you're Ant-Man or something instead. I'm gonna say no on him. It's definitely a close one. We've done a lot of forwards and attackers though. Let's go back. Let's go to a defender, and Matthijs de Ligt was suggested by a few of you. This is a categorical yes for me. There's members of that Ajax team that did that Champions League run that we need investigating by HMRC, bro. Because Matthijs de Ligt has never, ever found the form or the actual ability that he found at Ajax since that move, and he's still getting bought for big money now. He's gone from Ajax to Juve to Bayern Munich to Manchester United. Those are three of the biggest teams in the world, and I don't think he's ever been like a nailed-on starter at any point during that time. Well, apart from Manchester United, and then they finished 15th in the league. For me, absolutely yes, and that's a little bit harsh. There's time for him to turn it around. I'm not saying, again, this is not about him being a bad player. This is just simply the fact, why is he still getting bought by clubs of this stature and for money of this amount? He's not the guy anymore, clearly. It's been like 5 years, 6 years since that Ajax run. He ain't returning to those levels. He's not even young anymore. Just allow it. Let him go to Roma and just chill there for 10 years. Another one for me is Baba Rahman. I don't know if you guys remember this, Dom, but Abdul Baba Rahman was a left back, a Ghanaian left back that used to play for Chelsea. And this was during the loan farming era. Chelsea, if you're not familiar, would sign loads of young players and then loan them all out. Okay, no, that's what they were doing this season. This was 10 years ago. Yeah, they've been doing this for a while, and it was really, really bad during this era. To the point where Baba Rahman was actually contracted to Chelsea for 8 years and had been out on loan for 7 of those years. It got to 2023, and Chelsea fans had quite literally forgotten that this guy even existed. So he went out on loan to Schalke for 2 seasons back-to-back. He was on loan to Rhyme for half a year, then Mallorca, PAOK in Greece for half a year, then Reading back-to-back, and was finally only sold back to PAOK in Greece in 2023. During that time, this man has made 50 appearances for Ghana and has played 15 times for Chelsea in 8 seasons. He is the ultimate money launderer, but in loan form. Someone just take a punt. Someone just buy him. Like, because now, for every year, for 8 years, this guy's had to move house, fam. He's got so many cardboard boxes in his yard that you can't even see the floorboards. It's crazy. Just let him stay somewhere permanently. Let him buy a house, for the love of God. He's got a family, I assume. Absolute confirmed money launderer. Now, over on Twitter, we have Brentford Hive, who's recommending Aaron Ramsdale. I kind of hear this. I don't think Ramsdale's that bad of a goalkeeper. I know the whole relegation record is, like, haunts him, but there's not many of them that he's actually at fault for. Like, Sheffield United, he was a standout performer in that side. Bournemouth, he was pretty good. Obviously, he went to Arsenal. He was good. Ramsdale was good in his first season at Arsenal. It fell apart as soon as David Raya arrived on the scene. Bro just forgot how to save things. Southampton, the squad was absolutely shocking. He's not a bad goalie. I just think he's kind of unlucky. Like, I actually think he would do a job for a team 14th or 15th in the Prem. He just always manages to choose the side that gets relegated. Sam Elliott says Choupo-Moting stole a living at PSG and Bayern. That's an incredible one. Fam, his agent has the Epstein files, because there's no way you can go from Stoke straight to Bayern and PSG. That's absolutely insane. That career trajectory has never been seen before in any walk of life. So he somehow, some way, he's 1,000,000% a money launderer. Or at the very least, his agent is. Zianata Silvestiu here has sent me a guy who I've never heard of called Sebastian Abreu. Jesus fucking Christ. This is actually one of the most mental Wikipedia pages I've seen. Judging off his goals record, he's not a money launderer. This is just a journeyman. This is a man who just loves negotiating, bro. He played for 5 different teams in the space of 2 calendar years. I don't know how that's possible, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but he's scored everywhere he's gone, so you can't really complain. I don't think he's a money launderer. I think his agent might be, though. Big Van Dermo said Sancho surely's there. Sancho's got one more move for me. Sancho at Borussia Dortmund being so good was not quite as long ago as people think. That was like 3 seasons ago, I want to say. So, like, Sancho's got one more move to save himself. If he goes back to like Manchester United, now, and then he gets a move to somewhere back in the Bundesliga and he slaps again, then it's like, okay, he just didn't suit the Prem. Maybe he just wasn't as good as we thought he was, but now he's got himself back together again. So not yet, but if he goes somewhere else and flops, then he definitely is. Esri Konza Enjoyer 2000 says Talisca, he's been to Saudi, China, and Turkey twice in the last decade. Yeah, I hear it. Again, similar vibes to Hulk. Anyone who's just bounced between these sorts of leagues, I kind of just immediately have to feel like you kind of are. You're edging towards the list, yeah? The guy's, he's picked up the pen and he's written half your middle name down. Mad Axis says whereas Nicolas Pepe was never worth 72 mil. I think for Nicolas Pepe, it's just one of them, like, one signing for big money that doesn't work out, I don't feel like qualifies. It's if you're continuously getting sold for money again and again and again. Like, we immediately found out Pepe weren't worth 72 mil. We knew that from the jump. And his next move was not for anywhere near that sort of money. I don't even know where Nicolas Pepe is right now. I get the feeling he plays for like a mid-table side in France, right? That feels, or Turkey. Like, that feels like it makes sense. But I, hand on heart, could not tell you where he plays right now. Scott Carson, technically, yeah, I can't lie. Even just for the one-man City move alone. John Ruddy's another one. How that man still plays in a Premier League club. He plays for Newcastle. I think he got released recently. But John Ruddy was getting lobbed by Luis Suarez like 10 years ago. That's insane. And then Brian Bello Enthusiast says Kevin Prince Boateng. Yes, yeah, big facts. That's more out of frustration than anything, because I wanted him to be amazing, and at points he was. But that man just bounced about. I could not keep track of where he was, and his agent was doing a serious job because he was just skiving from training all the time. But what do you make of these players, all right? Let me know what your versions are down in the comments section. Any players I didn't talk about, any players that I missed, drop them down there. Are you as frustrated at these footballers as I am? I swear down, Joao Felix and Alvaro Morata, yeah. I hope that you stub your toes. Just once. You don't have to do it consecutively. Just one time, just to let you know. But now, genuinely, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then feel free to slap a like on it. And of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Really does help me out. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourselves. And goodbye.